that. How are you addressing this issue, particularly of Almajiri? Do you think it's something that should be handled and eradicated totally, or is there a different way it should be managed, for instance?
Well, there are three things to bear in mind or have in focus
Mm,
when you want to address the issue of Almajiri.
mm,
Number one, the danger called the Almajiri system. It is a time bomb. It is more dangerous than the Boko Haram, than any insurgency we have in this country. Because whatever menace, whatever danger, whatever problem you want to create in Nigeria, you have the mechanism to use called Almajiri. We must understand this. Now, the second area to focus on is the difficulty of changing the narratives of Almajiri. It's not an easy task.
mm,
Why? Because some people are manipulating the system just to exploit human beings. But make your research to understand what I'm saying. How much money the EU and the UNICEF is pumping, and other donors agencies is pumping to address the issue of Almajiri. And where is that money going to? Who are they benefiting from that money? And if you come down to the system itself and look at how some human beings are exploiting children in the name of malams that own the Almajiri school. There are places when the malam will be charging 100 naira, 200 naira, 50 naira, even 500 naira per child on daily basis, that the child will go and beg and bring back return. This is exploitation of human being. And it is easy way of trafficking human beings. So I don't think there will be ever a serious government that will not look into the problem of Almajiri, because it touches all ramification of life, all areas of life. If anything, the Almajiri system is touching in life. So we have to make sure. Let me give you one example.
okay.
You have your child, and that child is going to school. If you have a out of school child within your neighborhood, that child could attract the attention of your child. When he comes out to go to school, he may be friending this guy, this child, and he may attract him to take him away from the classroom.
Mm.
That is one of the problems that we don't even care to look at. Lastly, we have to focus on governance if we really want to change the system. There must be laws that will be in place and system that will be followed to change the system of Almajiris.
But do you think that, because I'm thinking that most times, these issues become a bit sensitive. If, for instance, for an individual who is a Christian and he wants to bring about these changes you're talking about, people may sense it a different way. But then, what would you say to the Ummah, who are in positions of authority? Let's say state governors and maybe directors in the Ministry of Education, who probably are not looking at these issues the way you are looking at them. Would you say they are truly, not to sound judgmental, but would you say they are truly reflecting the teachings of the Ramadan or the teachings of Islam, as the case may be, when it comes to governance and impacting the lives of such people?
Let me start by agreeing with you that when a Christian is in governance and is trying to address the issue of Al-Majri, there could be some attack or misconception about what he is intending to do. The case of His Excellency um, Jonathan,
Good luck, Jonathan,
yeah,
former president.
it's a good example when he did a wonderful thing for Almajiris, but we failed to continue with it. There is no consistency in the program. Had it been we have continued with what Jonathan started, I mean, we the Muslims, that the Almajiri system could be changed um, positively. Now, looking at whether we are doing the right thing or the message of Ramadan and Islam is touching positively and genuinely the lives of Al-Majiri, I don't think we are doing the right thing. I don't think we have gotten the nail on the head. We need to start thinking otherwise because first, where we fail to address the issue is when we consider those children that are not our children. If we think they are not our children, we have failed. The director in the Ministry of Education, when sitting there and thinking that Almajiris are not his children, when the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria thinks that Almajiris are not his children, when other citizens of Nigeria who are not northerners think that Almajiris are not their children, we have failed. We have to consider these children first as human beings. They are human beings. Dehumanizing them in our own doorstep is a problem that we must, try to address. And it is a sin that we all share, especially when we are in governance.
Okay.
Let me categorically say that even if there is no law on ground in this country that says that children owned by the states, not the family. I mean, the government must be responsible for every child in Nigeria. It is ownership of the state, not only the family. Because if that child become a good citizen in the country, he will be beneficial to the state. So also, if he becomes menace in the society, the problem will be in the state and on the state. Therefore, we have to start addressing that issue, and that is where we, the Muslim Ummah, failed in the issue of Al-Majiri because they are our children. We failed to make things better for them. We can have the system, the Quranic education system, workable at a time when we maintain that gesture of humanist situation or humanism in them. We have to respect their humanity. They are human beings, and they are right to Western or education or any education.
Okay. All right. So we just have, I've just been told I have just less than 2 minutes. So, but we've gotten past the conversation of Muslim ticket. Now we have a president elect, the president of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and former governor of Borno State, Kashim Shetima, who's also a serving senator. But now we're going into the issues of governance. Um, Nigeria will not be Islamized. Maybe we will have to get that out of the way. That's a different topic entirely. Those who believe that Nigeria was going to be Islamized when Buhari was coming in, maybe that has not happened. But then, how would you expect, as Muslims, how would you expect their governance, their style of governance to reflect, talking about the teachings of the Holy Quran, um, and as Muslims, how do you expect that to reflect in the issues of governance in 1 minute before we wrap up?
Well, there is one thing in governance: justice,
Mm.
equity. When you have these two, equity and justice, you have good governance. And anybody who thinks that Nigeria will be Christianized or Islamized is just deceiving himself. He's just deceiving himself because we have a quite significant number of Christians, significant number of Muslims, and African tradition, religion.
Yeah.
So therefore, we have to forget about religion. Look at how to promote unity, equity, and justice. If His Excellency, the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will focus on unity, equity, and justice, he is going to succeed. But when he thinks that he is going to create a nepotism system of government that will favor some people and leave the other people, whether he's political party members or Muslims or whatever kind of people, he is going to fail. And let's start telling him, let him focus on four things. One, unity. Two, equity. Three, justice. Four, promises that he made.
I think that would be a beautiful way to round up the program. I've been speaking with the Imam of Akko Mosque, Mohammed Nuru Khalil. It's been a pleasure having this
Just put
conversation.
former.
Oh, former, right?
Yeah, I'm not the imam now.
Okay, okay, all right. But it's been a pleasure
Thank
having
you.
this conversation with you, and hopefully, in the nearest future, we'll be engaging a bit more.
It's my
And we've
pleasure.
been talking about lessons of the Ramadan and this at nationhood in this period of festivities, talking about the Eid al-Fitr. So thank you so much for being a part of it. We'll be coming back after this break, and we'll go into our next conversation.